marketing that seems more random, or maybe it's just the fact that it's going in different directions or in different panels, or
it was based a bit on anatomical shapes, and then the Gaudi sort of curves and waves and Art Nouveau,
right.
and then with these we wanted them to look like shells. So actually they're all they're waves of chiffon cut in this mother of pearl print. So it's like they're all on circles and they have a wave design, and then they're degraded in 7 different sizes all the way down. So if you look under here, they're all stitched on. So they're tiny circle, they're sort of small circles stitched on all the way around. But it was actually quite mathematical to do this. For a McQueen woman anyway, she has to feel powerful. She's never going to be it's never a girly girl. It's always she's always a woman. I mean, I always find that unless you have a shoulder or unless you have some of a waist, whatever proportion it is, it has to. A McQueen woman doesn't ever seem to wear something that's boxy, for instance. She has to have an element that's fitted. If it's the shoulder or if it's the waist, she doesn't. However much she tries to do something that's a sort of looser shape, it's not a McQueen woman. I mean, these were sort of anemones. These ones here, these sort of trapeze-like ones.
Oh, these were great. Yeah.
Which are like a little kind of. And again, these were circles cut and then hand massaged like this to create sort of an anemone effect. And again, the Gaudi Art Nouveau references. What we wear is making a statement about the period of history we live in. So I think that I think he felt very much an obligation every time to say what he meant.
McQueen was McQueen, and McQueen was driven by so many things, just as Galliano was driven by so many ideas, and Carl, and they all, or Azzedine. I mean, this infatuation with post-war film types and the North African culture, and it all blended in Paris and all of that.
He really wanted to have a message about what he felt about society in a way at the time, or himself.
There's kids who are in the early 20s and the world is changing right in front of them. Will they have jobs as photographers? Will they have jobs as designers? Will they have jobs as writers? And what place will they have? Will they be able to express themselves?
You almost feel like so many people want to be the designer now, so many people want to be the photographer now, and what I find quite sad is that you can't find many pattern cutters, you can't find many people who want to do the craft of it.
I tell the young people that, you can be a really good reporter, and Paris is a small world. You don't need to go to the shows per se, you can see them online, but start talking to people and find out what's going on in the houses, and be a really good Bob Woodward of the fashion world.
Completely.
And and they wonder what if I don't get invited to the show? And I'm like, it's not about that. You want to be able to have information that nobody else has. Those are reporting skills. Why do you think that there is this thing of, I don't know if you feel it, but I feel it as a journalist, people doing the same things on the runway, even if it's slightly different?
You have to bring it back to the house where you're working. So if you're going to be inspired by somebody, or a theme, or whatever it is, it has to somehow relate to what the house is about. So the great thing about the way that Lee worked and the way that we work is that we never look at fashion references in it. It's always very much you create a world and a story, and you go with that. Very much what would McQueen do? It would be nipped and it would be wasted. But I find it very strange that everybody does seem to have the same sort of same things. You think, gosh, who's talking to who? Somehow, it's very, especially underwater this season.